I do highly suggest that you seek a lawyer to review your contract before implementing it. Hi, today we're going to discuss all things venue contracts. My name is Bonnie Hawthorne. I'm a venue coach and consultant who helps new and would-be venue owners create sustainable and profitable venues. So let's jump right into it. So we all know that a contract is a binding agreement between two parties. We're going to discuss some of the options that you can have in your contract. Once, I want to put a disclaimer out. I am not a lawyer or a legal expert. I am just giving you some ideals. I do highly suggest that you seek a lawyer to review your contract before implementing it. A contract is a hard and fast legal document, so please, again, make sure that you have the proper authorities to view your contract. So I'm going to be looking down at my notes. I like to stay on track, and I also like to make the best use of our time. So the first thing that you want to have in your contract, you want to make sure that you have the names and contact information for all parties involved. That is, if it's a wedding, the bride and groom, the parents, if they're paying, the wedding planner, anyone, you just want to have the wedding planner's information in case you need to contact them to get information about the day of as well. Okay, also you need the date and time of the event. You need to make sure that you have the start time, the end time, the breakdown time, and I'll also make sure that I make sure it's clear that when they need to vacate the premises. A lot of people will think when the cleanup time or the breakdown time is, they can continue on with their event. No, you need to make sure that that is properly understood so that no excess fees are having to be paid at the end of the night. You also need to make sure you have the exact locations. If you only have one room that you're going to utilize, make sure that you place that. If you have multiple rooms in or spaces in your venue, make sure that you list each room and each space and what each room and each space will contain. Will it contain the chairs, tables, linens, napkins? If it's a ceremony site, will it just have the chairs set up with the decorator and planner will come in and do the rest of the decor. So anything that the venue is responsible for, you need to list it out per the spaces so that you're covered. Okay, what time will the wedding pros be allowed to come on the premises to start setting up? You know, do you give them an hour? Do you give them 2 hours? Is there additional fee to be implemented if they need more than the time that you set aside for setup? All right. Also, you need to know the number of guests. That is important because you need to know the number of tables and chairs that you need to set up for the event. And also, if there's any specialty tables or if anything is being brought on site, that needs to be listed so that, you know, with the vendor's information. I do that to cover myself so that it says I'm not responsible for this, that vendor A or vendor B is responsible for those items that are going to be provided. I just go above and beyond a little bit with that. Yeah, and so also, like I said, and you want to make sure it's totally listed out, all the amenities and items that you will provide so that there's no misunderstanding of what people thought you were going to provide and you did not provide those services. And make sure if you have a vendor's list, if you don't provide those services, maybe attach the vendor's list with the contract or the agreements. Also, you know, you need proof of insurance. If you don't serve liquor or sell the liquor and they're bringing a bartender in or the caterer is actually providing the bartending services, you still want the liquor liability insurance so that you are covered in case someone goes off the premises, have an accident, it doesn't come back to you and you're actually held liable for that. So I usually ask for those items 15 to 30 days prior. My standard numbers are 15 to 30 for any documentation or whatever's needed. For last payments and things like that, I ask for my payments and I place it in my contract 30 days prior to the event. Okay, that helps you in case someone doesn't have money in their account or a check bounces or anything like that, you have time to work those issues out with all parties involved. Also, you want to make sure that you list who's going to be the point of contact, on-site point of contact for the event. You want to have their name, their number, a cell number, anything that, if anything was to rise to happen, that the parties can contact that individual and say, hey, we have this, that, or another that has transpired, and so they can handle things in a properly and professional, appropriate and professional manner. Also, cost. You want to list out all the costs of everything, so that at the end, there's nothing about, oh, we were charged too much for this, or we wasn't charged, we were charged for that. If you list everything out in the contract, then you don't have those problems at the end of the day. You just want to make sure you put the quantities, the actual description. If they choose pink napkins and that's something you offered, put pink napkins. Don't put napkins, because then once again you open yourself up for something that says, oh, we asked for white napkins, and maybe they thought they came back to you and said, oh, we want to change to white napkins, but they never did. So you have that legal binding document, and anytime anything's changed, make an amendment and have the clients to sign it. If they change the time, they change their dates, anything, any of the particulars, you need to make sure that you have an amendment. And just not, don't print off an email or don't scribble a note. You want an actual signed amendment, okay? Because that'll cover you, and it just helps to alleviate any problems and hardships. Also, deposits. So a lot of people say, oh, you have a 50% deposit to book your date. I don't say deposit, and I know it's legal jargon back and forth, but we say a 50% non-refundable retainer, because once you put your money down, your date is firm. We do allow them to change the date once if the date is available, and that's completely up to you if you allow them to change the date or not. That's completely up to you. A deposit is something like a security deposit. If you ask for a security deposit and you put in your contract, we expect what we would say is a $250 security deposit to be returned back to you within 7 business days after the event. That's with there not being any damages to the property. And I just say 250 as just, a number. So, you have to put the number in where if you have broken windows, toilets, any damages, that they are covered. And that's another reason too, to have the bride and groom to suggest that they get more insurance for their wedding day. It covers, a plethora of things that could go wrong or could happen, and they're not losing money and not having to pay out their pocket. Cancellations and refunds. So, we had COVID, right? And a lot of people got caught because they didn't have certain things in play. They didn't have certain policies or anything. They didn't have the phrase is called force majeure. And that's when you have like a pandemic or a tornado or whatever, you're not held liable for these things, But I always tell people, no matter what the situation is, try to work it out with your clients. Be professional. Offer them, say, maybe we don't do refunds, but we can reschedule if the date is available. You always want to leave a good impression with your clients, and because word of mouth is everything. If you're just telling no, you're going to cancel it. We're not going to refund you. And sometimes, to be honest, that happens. You just cannot cancel and you cannot refund, but make sure if you do refunds and or cancellations that you put all the dates. If it's 15 days before the event, we'll refund you so much. If it's 30 days, we'll refund you so much. If you totally cancel and you don't reschedule, we don't refund any money. So make sure that is in stone, and not only have it in your contract, but verbalize it to your clients. Because, and I'll be honest, some people, they don't read the contracts, and I know it doesn't fall in in the venue owner's lap, but they don't. So sometimes I'll go over the contract with them, verbalize it, and maybe it'll stick, and hopefully people will read it. And one thing I also suggest is that even though you have number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you're listing out all the information in your contract, have a little line out to the side where they have to initial to say that they read. That covers you as well. And plus they sign the contract at the end of the document. So also, those are some things that you want to consider in your contract. There's quite a few other things that you might want to put in there, but once again, I ask you to consult a professional attorney and make sure that everything that's in your contract is within your state laws and regulations and that you're covered. That is the idea of a contract, to make sure that you're covered. You want to dot your I's and cross your T's and make sure that everybody has a successful experience. Again, I'm Bonnie Hawthorne at BR Hawthorne Teaches. If you'd like to set a strategy call with us, we'll be happy to accommodate you. Also, if you found this information helpful, like, and also if you want to stay in the know, subscribe. Again, I look forward to meeting with you again, and blessings to you.